Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Chubbs Reviews, where I bring you a review every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today, we're talking about another Marvel movie, MCU movie, number, I don't know how many number we're in now, but we're on Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming, one of the only movies that is not on Disney+. Plus. So I had to pay for it, and I decided to watch it twice, and not back-to-back, so I paid for it fucking twice. So yeah, this was like a $6 movie for me, but, it's good. This movie didn't get a lot of hate when it came on. I know a lot of people like Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland. I was a huge Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fan. That's kind of why I always blew Spider-Man off and the Marvel Universe off, almost in a sense, is because I was so connected to Tobey Maguire and the Raimi films, or whatever they're called. I really liked the trilogy, even the third one. But anyway, we're here with a brand new Spider-Man that is nothing like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in pretty much every way. He's like 14 to 15 years old in this. He's like a sophomore in high school, and yeah, he just came off of the Civil War. He was in Captain America: Civil War, and they pick up right onto that. He's talking about how he took Captain America's shield, and it's just really cool to see the high school perspective of Spider-Man. I am gonna talk spoilers in this. Spoilers. I know it's like a random time to mention it, but I am gonna say spoilers, so I have a lot to talk about. But yeah, so Spider-Man in this movie, no one knows who he is. Of course, he's one of the hidden identity people in the universe. Not until too long into the film that his best friend finds out, because Spider-Man sneaks into his room and doesn't have his Spidey senses in this movie at all. I know that's a lot of criticisms that this movie gets, is that there's just no Spidey senses. Spider-Man gets snuck up on a lot, and maybe he just hasn't learned that power yet. I don't care too much. But yeah, he's coming off of Civil War, and he's really looking forward to his next mission. He's constantly blowing up Happy Hogan's phone and trying to get a mission from Tony Stark's Iron Man. And yeah, and eventually he kind of comes across his own villain, and the villain in this movie is Vulture. They start the movie by showing his story, really. He was a construction worker trying to clean up the mess from Age of Ultron, or the first Avengers. This is one of the two. Um, uh, I actually don't know which one it was. But yeah, and then instead Stark's cleanup company comes in and tells them to get out, so Vulture, and then that guy takes some of the leftover alien shit and becomes the Vulture. Just basically a small little group of people who are just selling weapons, alien weapons, and just trying to make a living for their family in shady ways because their job got screwed over back in the day by Tony Stark. Um, so it's a villain created by Tony Stark in a sense. And Tony Stark's created, I know I just said Tony Stark like 15 times. Please don't unsubscribe. But he's created so many villains in the MCU. Like, really, when you think about it, like his own villains, Spider-Man's villain, Ultron, just, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, yeah, where was I getting to? Vulture, pretty much, this movie is a really contained story. It's very minimal. It's not like Save the World at all at any point. It doesn't have the weight of really anything on it. One of the most intrusive things that does carry the weight is like Iron Man is constantly in the film. They're really going for the Iron Man mentoring Peter Parker or Spider-Man type thing. It's basically Spider Iron Man. But I don't mind that. A lot of people don't like that too much. He is in the film too much. Like, Tony Stark saves Spider-Man 2 or 3 times in this movie. It's written well. It's done well. It's just a little too much. But I do like it, because when else are we ever going to get a Tony Stark mentoring Spider-Man story? Like, we're not going to get this again. We might as well take it. We already have Spider-Man being his own hero in 2 other spin-offs. Or not spin-offs, but, reboots. So I like it. I just wish it was done a little less, but it was done good. I don't think he should come in and save Spider-Man every 2 seconds. Spider-Man's very clumsy in this film. He's like basically a terrible hero. Either it's for the fact that he's hacked into the suit that Tony Stark gave him and doesn't know what he's doing with the suit. He's constantly messing up the webs. It's just a lot of shit like that, that things do not go right for him at all in this film, and he's a very clumsy hero. And that's just not what we're used to by Spider-Man, so it's really weird to get used to that. One of the biggest twists in the movie is that Vulture is actually the girl that Peter Parker's after in the movie. Peter Parker goes to homecoming with this girl, and it's her father is Vulture, and he realizes that he meets his father at the door. That's actually a really good twist. Didn't see it coming. I always thought Vulture's backstory was about his wife getting cancer or something like that. Maybe they're leading to that. They definitely Vulture's still alive by the end of the movie, and there's an after the credit scene. I'll get to that. But Vulture's story was personal with Peter Parker, but I still didn't love him as much as like a lot of people online do. He's an all right villain, but I thought he could have been even better. The story is written well. I do like except for some of the jokes. It is a very silly movie. It is probably the most like teenage demographic movie of the MCU. Like it's not terrible. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you probably really want a younger Spider-Man, and you're finally gonna get that. But for me, I'm not 13 or 16 anymore. I'm not that much older than that either. But it's just some of the jokes. It's just there were so many, and some of them just didn't land for me. But it was a funny movie. It ain't no Guardians of the Galaxy funny, but it's funny on its own. Um, and like I said, Tony Stark's constantly saving Spider-Man. Spider-Man's constantly messing up his suit. He's constantly having to decide between being a superhero and having an actual life. Having fun with this girl that he likes. And it just constantly is getting in the way. And yeah, they don't have Mary Jane in this movie at all. I thought that was a big like boom. Like she's in the end at the end of the movie, this girl comes out and says she's MJ. So basically, Mary Jane has 5 lines in this whole movie, and they're just throwaway jokes that really like one of them are funny. I don't mind Zendaya being Mary Jane, and this movie sets up a ton of potential for the future Spider-Man movies. Like even in the after credit scene, I didn't even realize this, but after watching a video or two about this movie as well, I think the guy in the jail scene in the after credit video with Vulture is Scorpion. Is gonna be Scorpion, so they're hinting at like the Sinister Six, which is like 6 of Spider-Man's villains, type thing. But I don't know where they're going with that. But they're setting up the potential for that. Spider-Man is maybe he's done being clumsy now. Aunt May is casted weirdly hot. Like they even make fun of it in the film, but just because you make fun of it doesn't make it all right. I really don't like how Aunt May is super young. Maybe it's because Peter Parker is really young, but I don't know. She's just oddly attractive, and it makes me feel weird. So yeah, just a lot of little nitpicky things I didn't like, but this movie sets up a ton of potential for future Spider-Man movies, and this movie wasn't as funny as I thought. Spider-Man never really fights anyone too much. It's more about him just trying to save people and save the things that he's caused to explode or whatever. And the final fight against Vulture was okay. Just I don't know. This movie overall was just good, and that's really it. And good movies for me, my final rating is a 7 out of 10. It's just a 7 out of 10. It's also probably not very memorable. Maybe you'll remember Vulture, but besides that, you just don't remember too much from this movie. I don't think I will, at least in a week or two. And my friends always never remember this one. They remember the second Spider-Man movie. So, looking forward to that one. Next movie should be Doctor Strange or Black Panther. I'm not sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.